Most people think becoming a medical carrier is simple, easy work, and you can simply do it overnight and just get rich quick. That's simply not the case. Anywhere you look on social media today, you'll see become a medical carrier in 3 easy steps. And granted, it is easy. The initial steps are easy, but the process is never explained. And that's the problem. Because the process is not explained, people walk away with false expectations. So in today's video, I'm going to explain the for real process and the 3 steps it takes to actually get started and what you can really expect on your journey. Let's get started. First, let's explain what a medical carrier is. A medical carrier is a person that picks up a shipment picks it up at point A and delivers it from point B in their own personal vehicle. It's that simple. There's nothing fancy about it. It's really straightforward. Now, let's move to step 1, eligibility. Most medical carriers are looking for someone at least 21 years of age. They want you to be at least 21 years of age. You're going to be delivering goods that are sometimes high dollar value, and they want to make sure that you're mature and you can actually do that work. Next will be your driver's record. You want to have a decent driver's record. You don't want to have DUIs, moving violations, and a bunch of speeding tickets. That's a red flag for medical carrier companies, and they're simply not going to hire you when you have that kind of driver's record. So you want to make sure that you have a decent driver's record. Next, let's talk about your vehicle. Listen, do not go out and buy a vehicle, get a Sprinter van or something like that. You're at the beginning of your journey. What you want to do is use your own personal vehicle. Your personal vehicle. If you have more than one vehicle, make sure you choose the vehicle that is most fuel efficient. So they want to see that you have a vehicle that is at least 10 years old or less. You don't want to have a vehicle over 10 years old. You may have a vehicle that's reliable that's over 10 years old, but they're not going to accept that particular vehicle. They want to see a vehicle that's less than 10 years old. Next, your background. Listen, you're going to be picking up sometimes high dollar items, and they want to make sure that you're a person of integrity. You cannot have felonies on your record and things like that. That is a red flag. Sometimes, if it's been long enough, you can kind of skate by it, but most of the time, they actually want to make sure that you're a solid person and that they're actually trusting that particular shipment with someone that has integrity. Next, insurance. Now, your insurance, most medical carrier companies, as you apply for different companies, they're going to have their own requirements as far as insurance goes. But at a minimum, you want to make sure that you have at least your state requirements. Whatever your state requires, you want to at least have that in place. Listen, the reason why the eligibility piece really matters, which is step 1, it actually tells you whether you're ready to move on and actually start going through the next part of the process. So make sure that before you get started, make sure you follow that you're eligible to get started. Let's go to step 2. Listen, now you want to look at your name. And here's how I want you to think of this. When someone mentions the name of your company, your carrier service company, you want to imagine what do you want them to walk away with? So whatever you want them to walk away with, or whatever image you want them to have in their mind, that's how you need to name your business. So I suggest that you name your business something that is reputable and something that actually makes you look good personally. The next thing you want to actually do is you want to look at the Secretary of State in your state. You want to determine the availability of that name. Just because you choose a name doesn't mean that that name is available. You actually want to make sure that that name is available. The next thing we want to do, you want to set up your business formation. Now, that is your LLC or a sole proprietorship or something like that. I'm not giving legal advice. I'm simply telling you that you're going to want to set that up. The importance of that is you want to be able to protect your personal assets in the future. You want to be able to make sure you protect your personal assets. So that's important. Your business formation is important. The next thing you want to do is you want to get your EIN number. That stands for Employee Identification Number. That number is secured at the IRS. It's a simple phone call. In 5 minutes, they ask you a few questions, and next you have your EIN number. Think of it this way. Your name of your business, your entity, and your EIN number forms your business birth certificate. So, and the reason why this is important is because when companies go to start hiring, you start applying at these different companies, that's what they're looking for. They want to see the name of your business, they want to see that your EIN number, and they want to know that you have an established business. So before you ever even apply, you want to make sure those things are in place. Thus, like I said, it's very important. Make sure they're in place before you even apply. Now, let's go to step 3, apply for contracts. And this is where the problem is. There is a big false expectations that's been communicated to the public where you think that because you apply for contracts, you automatically start working and now you've got these contracts and you're just up and running. It doesn't work like that. Really what it really matters is demand. Demand is what determines whether or not how fast you're driving. So no matter what you hear on social media, if the demand is not there, it's simply not going to happen as quickly as you would like it to. So I always want to dispel that right off the bat, that all this is dependent on demand. If the demand is not there, it's not going to happen. Listen, one thing I want you to take note of, in my next video, I'm going to break down the demand. There's 3 factors that actually drive demand, and unless you know what they are, you're going to always have false expectations. The next thing I want to cover is, as you start applying for these jobs and these applications, you're putting your applications in, I want you to do something first. Let's make sure you're prepared first. However you want to do that, because you need a way that you can follow up on the the applications that you actually have submitted. So you need a way to follow up, whether that's you do it on your phone, notes on your phone, you use Notion, whatever you want to do. You just need to have an adequate way to follow up to make sure that you know exactly where everything is. Next, we're going to apply for everything, every possible application that you can apply for, every company that you can apply for. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to apply for every company possible. You're going to look at companies like SVSRX. You're going to look at companies like USPAC. There are just several companies you can look at. But the whole idea is to apply for all of them. Once you apply for all of them, that's going to allow you some flexibility. You're going to be able to, you'll be able to kind of judge what kind of money you're going to make. You're going to be in a little bit more control of your time. And you can only do that by applying at multiple companies so that you have options. Because that's really what you want to have, is options. Listen, after you apply for these companies, make sure you follow up. Don't wait for these companies to contact you. These are medical logistics companies and they're busy. Most of the time, the people that's actually looking at the applications are doing more than one task. So your application may slip through the cracks. It may not, but the whole goal is you want to make sure you follow up. Place a phone call if you need to. If this is something you really want to do, sometimes you may have to take some initiative and some initial effort and actually go after that company. Give them a call. See if you can talk to a person. After you talk to a person, see if you get their name. See if you can get a follow-up email. Who can I reach out to next? Is there somebody else I can reach out to? When's the next time I can follow up back up with a call? How often can I do that? These are things that you want to do to ensure and make sure that you are actually able to get your carrier service up and running and become a driver and start making money right away. So that's some of the things you really want to do. Listen, what I've done to make this easier, I have created a 4 stages carrier progress guide. It will guide you through where you're at right now and to where you'd like to be. It also includes the 3 steps that we covered today. So make sure you download that free guide. It's simply to give you some kind of orientation so you kind of have some real expectations and you get a real idea of where you're at in the process. Please make sure you download that guide, and thank you for watching so much. One more thing before I go, make sure you watch that next video. I'm going to break down demand in that next video. That's really what determines how quickly you get started. You don't want to miss that. And thank you so much for watching.